these are students of music and drama. The music students will be doing their first course in film related. It's called music video. And I know the film students have been doing a number of courses already in film. But again, we are all beginning as women at the starting point. I've also been mentioning some few here, and I've also talked to somebody whom I will not mention, who was given an assignment to organize us and we create a film club at the department. So those are all avenues where we are going to continually practice what we are going to be learning in our workshops. I am Dr. Sylvia Nanyonga Tamusuza, the head of the department. I am an ethnomusicologist, but somehow becoming an executive producer in film. Thank you so much. I now invite the chair of WIFI.
Welcome to our first creative talk. My name is Solea Munyana. I am the chairperson of the Women in Film Initiative. Some of the ladies you see here are part of the club, and some others were hoping to recruit. I'm looking at you guys, hoping that you will be a part of our club. What we hope to do with this talk is just to have a discussion. We want to have our honored guests who are here with us tell us about their experiences. So please feel free. It's not so strict that it's like don't ask any questions until afterwards. You can ask questions. If something strikes you, just put up your hand and please pitch your question. We'd love to hear from you.
My name is Edna Nakakembo. Professionally, I'm a script supervisor and a production coordinator. I'd like to introduce people.
My name is Juanita Beodida Wandera. I prefer the Spanish version which she has just used, which is Juanita. I do film, television, stage, and radio.
How long have you been in the industry for?
Oh, since I was born, really. Right from kindergarten, I think, is when I started. My father was an actor and a producer of theatre, so when he'd pick us up at school, we'd go to the National Theatre where he was rehearsing with his colleagues like the late Robert Saramaga, people like Tingi, and we started off running in between the seats, until one day when I was 4, I kind of turned and saw this magical place, that was different from the world I live in. I was fascinated. I sat down in the seats and I started watching the rehearsal, and from then on I was sold. That was over 50 years ago.
My name is Lucky Laura Atwine. I'm a writer, I'm a director, I'm a producer, to mention but a few, actress, the picky one. Yeah, so I do a lot of things, but I mostly write, direct, produce, and of late, I teach film at Kampala Film School. But I started writing when I was in high school. When you're in high school, that's when in adolescence, there's a lot of things that happen, and you have so much energy, and sometimes you just don't know where to push that energy to. So what I did, I decided to write. And it turned out, like something to just take my mind off of things, but then it became a bit serious when my colleagues, my friends, started renting out my books to read them the way we would rent out novels. So I was like, okay, this is something, I could do this, So and then when I finished school, I just went through all the way, but I started real serious filmmaking in 2008, so that's like about 10 years. Yeah, that's when I did my first film, and ever since then, yeah, I've been in this love affair with film since then. Yeah. We fight, we love, we make up, and we get back at it. That's it.
I'm Eleanor Naruso. I'm an actress and a producer and a film director. Since we're all doing history, I was always that young girl in primary who was always raising my hand. I used to be the sheep in the Jesus movie. Because I was very short, I'm still short, but then I was really short. And I'd always pick the tall ones and what I say, at least let me just be the sheep. Or the wise man in the back who moves with the gifts. So it was always my passion, MDD. Then high school, I studied MDD a lot. I was Miss Interact in high school. So I was doing all the MDD for the school in different schools. And after that, I did a play with one of the famous groups back in the day called Obsessions, called To Love Is To Die. That's where I met Mr. Kwesi Kaganda. And he kept pushing me, he said, you should be on TV. I was like, okay, maybe. So one day he called me up and said, is this thing going to happen? You should come and audition. And back then I didn't really think I should do it. So I show up, looking the way I was looking. And they say, you're going to audition for a born again girl. It's like a born again girl. I was so different. So anyway, I tried and everyone is thinking, wow, you did so well. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. So I took off 6 months of trying to research about the born agains and how they behave and how they act. And I should say my thank yous to my second director in life, Madame Jewa. She really put me to the calm down stage, you know. Talk slowly, change your accent, speak like this, turn up, like change your hair, do this. She molded me into this act, and I thought to live into someone else's life and to pull it off so well, I think it's something I can put off. So that was the beginning of my journey, and now it's been 8 years in the industry. Seven? Yeah. 8. When the hostel ended, I decided to do my own production house, Nabuso Films.
The first time we were shooting the hostel, and we were trying to look for this woman who had just lost her child, her son, yes, abruptly, and you know, we needed a grieving mother basically. So it took us over 3 weeks looking for this woman, and we just couldn't find one. Then Kwesi Kaganda, who was the director then, turns to me and says, why don't you do it? I'm like, huh? Because you know, I've done, my job there was to prep these actors, to you know, schedule the shooting and stuff, but mostly to prep the actors. So I think to him, it felt like something, you know, just pull off just like that. You've been telling this what to do, you know. So I'm like, huh, okay. So it was, you know, very complicated. So well, that's how that was my first acting experience that I can remember.
Entry point, I made my stage debut at the National Theatre when I was 7 years old. Now that is, well, it's not ordinary, of course, but like I said, my father was an actor, he was a producer at the time. He's one of the theatre groups that helped to build the National Theatre. So in my case, I was very, very privileged, but at that point, you know, that's where you're looking for children to act, and not a lot of people are willing to give you their children to act, you know, especially since it's in the evening. So you found that, you know, the children of the actors themselves or the technical crew were the ones who were there, you know, and the children who were walking in this crew. And one of us had to sneeze on cue at a particular point, you know, because they were telling this strange story about this island that had a Misambwa. I don't know. For those of you who speak Luganda, you know what Misambwa are. Some people call them mermaids, some people call them evil spirits, you know. And everybody was so gripped, and that sneeze was supposed to break, you know, the tension, you know. And they tried all the kids, and nobody could do it, you know, until I just did it naturally. I just sneezed, you know, and I got the role, you know, so that is my biggest achievement. To be quite honest, I don't think I auditioned for a single one of the films I've done. I was always behind the scenes. Some of the work I do is casting, you know, casting for film, and that was what I was doing at the time. It was a bit like you know, where you look for this person to do the role, this person, and then all of a sudden someone turns around and says, why don't you? Yes, I've done a First Lady. I was Idi Amin's wife in The Last King of Scotland. I've done a village nurse. I've done a Chess Federation official in Queen of Katwe. I've done the whole myriad from up there all the way down there, but strangely enough, I never did any auditions. I don't think I ever got through when I went for an audition.
Again, I started on stage. That's where I was discovered. And then I tried to take on an audition that I was invited for. Somehow I didn't believe I would pull it off, but then after that, because I remember that day, I can't forget it, because I had brown hair and my earrings on and my nose pin, and they're looking for this soft born again girl. And I get the office and everyone is like, hold her. And everyone looks at you with this thing of, is she the Hope, the new Hope? Like why? What? Like how? So I get in and I'm thinking, okay, Kwezi believed in me, so I'm going to do this audition. So I got the washroom, I took off my pins and I combed my hair down. And the scene was waking up from a hangover, like the night before. She was drugged and she has to wake up thinking, you know, that was the audition. And I was like, psh, I was out the night before. So I just sleep off and then get up and I'm confused and everyone's like, oh, okay, let's go with her. So slowly, I didn't think that was the breakthrough for the role, because to me the born again was more of a, it was too deep. So I kind of took off from my usual life and then just befriended this girl who was a neighbor, and she was actually the Hope I saw in the scripts. So I began always going to her house and looking at her and watching her ways, and I forgot myself and just grew into this girl called Hope. And amazingly, the audience loves her up to now. They still call me Hope. And I've done other roles anyway along the way, but Hope was like my breakthrough and my claim to fame in the film industry.
The only thing I have seen as far as film is concerned is how, you know, MTV back then was Channel O, and you know they would have videos of how, you know, the video is made. So that's all I knew. So and then like about a week later, there were film workshops which were organized by Maisha, and there were mentors from Hollywood. So these guys were excited, ready to shoot, and then I saw this as an opportunity to just make my script better. So I walked in with my first script, and we had a workshop for I think a day and a half for screenwriting, and we had 3 mentors, and each mentor had like about 2 hours. By the time the first mentor was done, I gracefully got my 10 pages and put them in the trash. Because while you think you're good, before you actually get to hear what everyone says, before you get to know, you know, how people read it, or just, you're never good. So you have to keep trying. So I was like, oh, yeah. And it was just like the way I'm here speaking and you guys are listening. It's not like I just even snuck in. It's not like I was on the list. So I trashed it, wrote another one. Now came the part of directing. I always knew I wanted to write, direct, produce, but I'd never done it before. So I met this young man who, you know, seemed to know what he was talking about. So I'm like, you know what, you should direct the script. He's like, okay. So he, you know, grabs the script. So I kept talking to him, trying to know more about him, trying to know what he's going to do with my script, because I was going to produce it either way. But the more I kept talking to him, the more I got to realize the reasons he wanted. I actually asked him, why do you want to direct this script? He's like, this script, this one is taking me to festivals. That's all he was thinking about. I'm like, so do I get to go to festivals too? And this was his answer. Well, if they invite the writer, you go, but they usually invite the main director, and I mean the main actor and the director. I'm like, okay, so this is the reason. In my head, I'm like, this is the reason you want to, you know. So the director of Film Club then was a Nigerian lady called Esther Jahum, who called me. She's like, come. She's like, so you have the script? I'm like, yeah. She's like, why do you want this guy to direct it? I'm like, well, because I've never done it before. I want to see how he does it, then I learn from him. And then she turned to me and she asked, when you joined the film club, what did you want to do? I'm like, I wanted to write, direct, produce. And she's like, in that same category, you have written a script. Your next step is to direct. If you don't direct this now, you're afraid of your first step. If you don't direct this now, you are going to have to direct at some point. This is your script. And with all true honesty, according to the performance of the film club members, the person you chose is not really going to do a good job. So rather you get your script, fail with it, but you will have gone through that first step. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I call him, I'm like, hey dude, you're fired. I'm like, so you want to be my AD? He's like, to take all that crap? Hell no. So now that also gave me reason to actually understand why there's something about him that, you know, his wanting to direct my script was not for any good reason at all, but his.
Fame,
Yeah,
fame.
yeah. So I'm like, you know what, let me just go wing it. And that's exactly what I did. And I have never stopped making films since then. So the first step is usually the scary one, but you never know until you try.
You know, the thing is, when that guy up there has a lot of plans for you, jump and grab them. Because to be quite honest, it's him. I can't explain it. Seriously, I can't explain it. I have worked on 2 Hollywood movies without ever going to Hollywood. Anyway, to continue, a dialect coach is a coach who helps you with your dialogue to say it in the way it's supposed to be said. Lupita Nyong'o is Kenyan, as you know, and I was actually dialect coach for David Oyelowo as well, yes. So, and David Oyelowo, Nigerian.
English, so.
Yeah, he's Nigerian by birth, but really he's British in the way he talks. He kind of speaks like that. When he speaks, so I had to bring them both up to speed to speak like Ugandans. The characters in the movie, as you know, first of all, Harriet. Harriet was from the slums of Katwe Poasin, never saw the inside of a classroom or anything like that. Katende, very, very simple man, no accent whatsoever. And I had to bring this man who always spoke of the weather as something, to be quite, to be quite honest, it's not something that you normally speak about, especially in a country like this with weather like this, and to just bring him down so that he can say ores instead of all things like that. To be able to say things like language instead of language, and Lupita as well, to get her to talk like Harriet, And so that's what a dialect coach does. But in our case, in Uganda, you know that we are also big on sounds. We use sounds to mean words or even sentences. So I had to teach them that as well. And like you say, how do you do it? Him. You just find out that you have it inside you. I mimic a lot. I can imitate people a lot,
How have you managed to still keep pursuing your dream while being a mother? And I know it's difficult because have you had moments where you have had to sacrifice one for the other, or like how have you managed to juggle the two and still keep going? Because clearly you're still an active member in film. So.
I chose to start active film when my last born was 3. Because the more they grow, the lesser they need you. At least that's what I think for now. With parenting, you never know. That's when they show up and, But how? You divide your time. For example, if they're like busy at school, then I'll do film stuff. If it is holiday, you will not see me anywhere near film. I only did that last year, and that's because, my last born is in S1 now. So she does not need as much time with me as she did when she was still at home and she was in boarding. So that's how you do it. But as far as roles are concerned, I am a parent first before anything else. I am me, then I am a parent first before anything else. Because I'll make as many films as I'm given. I will go on red carpets and smile and wave and do whatever I have to do. But at the end of it all, when all that is gone, when the entire world has shut down, I have my 2 beautiful girls who I am very responsible for, who I would want for them to have a future. And if I don't give them time, then they won't turn out as well as I would want them to, or even better than me.
The beauty of hitting rock bottom is that there's nowhere to go but up. No, seriously. Think about it, yeah? You've fallen on the ground, things are just not working, then what do you do? Sit down, look at what happened, identify the reason why you are down. Is it your fault? If it's your fault, what can you do to change it? What can you do to make things better? What can you do differently in future so that you don't end up in that place? It's not your fault. just get up, dust yourself and move on. Because there are going to be plenty of those, I have to assure you, you know. Because of the field we're in, because of men putting women down, because of women putting women down, because of us putting ourselves down because we lack the confidence, all right? Because of foreigners putting us down because of our color. It's going to happen all the time. The point is, what is your goal? What do you want to do?
One of the challenges that we meet, or that I've had, is that when you're a woman and you're working with these guys, directors and men, they always look at you as a sexual object. Yes, and there's a lot of sexual harassment. What do you say? Have you experienced it? How have you done it? How have you addressed it?
There's this gorgeous looking director from Bollywood that I met, you know, through the Maisha Film Lab, you know. And he was just after me the entire time. It was obvious he was married, you know. He was married. And even if he hadn't been, you know, come on, you know. So everywhere you are, you know, when Indian men are gorgeous, they are gorgeous. But you know, wherever you were, you could feel this accidental brush on your arm, someone standing too close to you when you're watching a picture. You just turn around and say, you know what? I'm here to work. If you don't mind, I'd rather just work. You know, just that's all I'm here for. And straight away they'll say, what did you think I was doing? You think I was interested? You think I was interested in you, and you say yes? I was not. I was just, like I said, confront it. Yeah. Confront it. Even if you're a minor and they're going to fire you. And they're going to fire you. I know at times we want these lovely opportunities. I know we want the money. But if you let it go, it's going to be a nightmare. And you'll probably even end up in a place that you don't really want to be. But to be quite honest, because I have heard of casting couches. Do you know what casting couches are? You want a part in a movie? Sleep with the casting director. Male or female. Yeah, that's it. Kitu kidogo, simple. You want the role. We are not looking for talent. Just let's go there. The answer is no, don't agree. No matter how terrified you're of losing the job, you know. You'll get other opportunities. And by the way, if you lose your job, talk about it. Talk about it. Wherever you can go, talk about it. Let word get round. Let people know. You know, you were fired because of sexual harassment, and I can promise you, someone is going to do something about it. You lucky?
Well, I probably am in the same category. You start that at your own risk. But it's simple. You know, it takes two to tango. That's what they usually say. And it's not just in films. Even in these, you know, usual day-to-day, everywhere in the workforce, that happens a lot. You find girls who are in places just because they're being paid, not because they're actually even functioning. Because say, for example, you decide to, you know, go for the casting couch or sleep with the director, get this role, and then you look really shitty at it on screen. And bottom line, when you're doing this film, you're doing it for the audience who are going to look at it and judge you every single second you have on screen. And it turns out really wrong. That's how careers always end before they even start. So it is be confrontational, like she says. When you are there to work, you're there to work. If you come with that sort of vibe, with that sort of self-esteem, even the guys will find it very hard to approach you. Those who insist, like she says, straight line, I am here to work. If you still want to engage with me in anything that is not work, do it the right way after work. Because bottom line, we are young women and men who, you know, are still expecting to fall in love, blah, blah, blah. You could expect to get that, you know, with your work friends and stuff, because, hey, hello. She's married to someone she was acting with, so, but believe you me, I was working with them and I did not see any of this happening. We were shocked.
Let's talk about it. Yes.
We were shocked because, you know, love comes in a lot of weird places that you never expect. But when you're there to work, I had a lot of meetings with actors because every time they would go on set, they would fail to act because they spent the night together. And I told them this. And I would not even know, but the way they would act, you would just know that something went down. So I'll take you to the side and be like, so, I know you two spent the night together. You didn't tell me, believe you me, the fact that I know everyone else is sensing it. So, if you're here to work, you're here to work. If you do not perform, I am giving your lines to someone else. I was literally, what do they call that person? Not dictator, but the one who has the sword to just carve a few things for the whatever it is to be done. But I'll tell you, because all these tiny little extra things kind of affect your performance. Your integrity, the way people think about you, then if it starts there, it will be a thing. Yeah, that girl sleeps with everyone to get to the next level.
And the industry is really small in
It
Uganda.
is so
It's
small.
So small. Like I
And
know
it's
he's
not
a
just in
casting guy
Eugene.
there, and I know her. I know it's like a small.
It's not just in
If I'm not
Uganda.
auditioning with Kathy tomorrow, I'll be auditioning with him, and if I'm not, and then if she knows, he knows, she knows,
It
then
will go around.
I can't even try. Just say you can sleep with the casting guy there, you get a role. Like everyone would know. Like if you sleep, you sleep, you sleep. So you become that actress.
Yeah.
Marilyn Monroe.
So stand by your ground. Choose to be who you are supposed to be on set.
The lowest of the lowest is usually the best way to start because that is how you end up meeting people. You could be the person who could be the rubbish collector on the set. Heck, as a result, you'll be picking the rubbish of the director, you'll be picking the rubbish of the producer, you'll be picking the rubbish of the assistants as well. But in the process, you'll be getting all
Mark
these people.
Wahlberg was a water boy on George of the Jungle.
There you go.
Mark Wahlberg. You guys know Mark Wahlberg? Yeah, he was one of the extras on George of the Jungle.
Go and volunteer, say we are here, You even pay for your own transport throughout that, whatever. Just tell them, we need the experience. We can carry the water, we can carry stuff for you, you can, run to and fro with messages, bring chairs, just to get the experience on the set. First of all, to see if you like it, and that's the kind of work you want to get into, and also to see how they do it.
Our inspiration to collaborate with Film. And we have an opportunity for our students to actually go and intern and watch. And in fact, this meeting today is in line with that and this kind of arrangement that we're having. Although this time we are only invited the ladies. But we have classes where 5, 6 people now share skills, but also, again, it's about, as you said, time management, and also having a discipline, because that's one of the issues that affects many artists. We have so much, but we have deadlines, we have all of these things. So students, you need to have a certain kind of discipline for you to be able to come on. Because there's so many projects. Sometimes they invite me. I think I'm now evolving myself into, as I said, an executive producer looking for writing concepts. Writing concepts and also convincing people. Like today we went, there's one place who didn't want to be on the video. They had some issues with the person who is in charge of the project. But he told me today that because I actually talked to him so in a way that he felt that it was very, very important. So marketing is an important aspect. So what I want to encourage you, also to answer your question, there are so many opportunities, and the good thing is that our university is now very open to collaborations, is very open to linkages and networks, and I hope we can also expand our networks with you. We even invite people who already have the practical experience to come and share with our students. This is just a small thing because we're just beginning. We wanted to kind of experimental and see how does it work and stuff like that. Then you will do that. So certainly we have very many opportunities. It's not the other material you had where you learn your little bit alone. Today we actually intern, there's internship, but there's also apprenticeship, there's also this kind of talks. And I believe our challenges will be mitigated.